There is a woman who turns scandal into sovereignty, attention into equity, and gossip into a printing press. She did it without singing a note, without winning an Oscar, without inventing a new technology. She mastered something older, sharper, more profitable, the marketplace of human attention. You know her name, but tonight we study her methods. Kim Kardashian is not an accident. She is a strategy that learned to walk, then learned to run, then learned to multiply. The world misread her as a socialite, a celebrity, a reality star. What they failed to see is that celebrity was only the vehicle. The engine was control, of image, of narrative, of timing, of distribution. Everyone else tried to be famous. She learned how to monetize the oxygen of fame itself. There is a paradox at the center of her power. The more you look at her, the less she reveals. The less she reveals, the more you look. This is the loop most women never master. They either overshare and become predictable, or hide and become forgettable. She walks a third path, curated transparency, just enough access to make you feel included, never enough to make you feel finished. Curiosity is a currency. She never spends it all. Consider the first lesson. Never let scandal be the final word. Most women panic when the world whispers. She didn't. She reframed. She made the camera her courtroom, the audience her jury, the edit her ruling. Not by pleading innocence, but by owning presence. When you do not collapse under judgment, you change the geometry of power. The critic spends their breath. You keep your throne. The crowd may arrive to witness chaos, but they leave with your brand in their mouth. Outrage decays. Familiarity remains. Second lesson: build a family into a franchise. The surname became a banner. Every sister a distribution node. Every storyline a pipeline. What looks like a reality show is actually an operating system. Feedback from viewers becomes content. Content becomes product. Product becomes culture. Culture becomes cash. The loop is tight. The hand is invisible. The audience thinks they are peeking through a keyhole. In truth, they are walking a guided tour. Third lesson: diversify the surface, unify the core, beauty lines, fragrance, shapewear, media, education, law. Appearances suggest variety. Strategy reveals a single thesis. Control the frame of femininity in public. When you control the frame, you control the demand. When you control the demand, you do not chase the market chases you. Do not be distracted by aesthetics. The architecture is the point. She designs funnels, not moments. Tease, drop, decant, archive. Each launch is a ritual. Each ritual trains the audience to expect the next. Ritual creates reliability. Reliability creates revenue before the product even exists. The crowd thinks they are buying an item. They are buying a rhythm. Now study the psychology. She rarely speaks first. She lets speculation inflate the balloon. Then, with a sentence, a post, a photo, she guides the air where it needs to go. This is not silence. This is leverage. When you speak after the room has exhausted itself, your words weigh more. When your words weigh more, you need fewer of them. That is why she looks effortless. That is why copycats look loud. There is a tactic I will give you. Own the setting. Those who manage optics manage outcomes. If a meeting matters, choose the room. If a conversation matters, choose the platform. If a launch matters, choose the calendar. Kim's genius is calendar choreography. She stacks narratives like dominoes. A tease on a Monday, a headline on a Wednesday, a launch on a Friday, a charitable note the following week. She never competes with her own story. She sequences it. Sequencing converts attention into compounding attention. Your enemies shout sporadically. You hum like a machine. Note the discipline. Elegance under pressure. Cameras flash. Rumors multiply. She maintains cadence. The face is calm. The message is brief. The posture says, I am not cornered. I am curated. People follow calm in chaos. Influence is not how loudly you speak. It is how steady you look while everyone else trembles. Master that, and the public will climb into your pocket willingly. There is a deeper current, from fame to infrastructure. Many women treat attention as a spotlight to bask in. She treats attention as electricity to power factories. The products are not random. They solve for body, image, and ritual. The three areas her audience already associated with her. That is not opportunism. That is resonance. You win faster by intensifying what people already believe about you than by trying to be reborn each quarter. She does not sell aspiration alone. She sells participation. Try this contour. Wear this fabric. Follow this routine. The customer does not watch. The customer acts. When the customer acts, they invest. When they invest, they defend. She did not merely create buyers. She created citizens. There is also soft law, the realm where public sentiment and private negotiation meet. While the world gossiped, she studied. Contracts, advocacy, the long road through exams and petitions. Why include this in a glamour empire? Because legitimacy is armor. When your image expands into multiple domains, attacks must divide to reach you. Divided attacks are weaker. A diversified woman is hard to assassinate. Socially, financially, reputationally. Understand the frame. The body as billboard. The post as press release. The storyline as public relations. The launch as verdict. She collapses the distance between media and message. The platform is the product. The product is the platform. This is why she can rotate from family plotline to brand moment to legal victory without snapping the spell. The audience is trained to accept the totality. They have already agreed to the premise. Her life is the narrative. The narrative is the value. The playbook is simple but lethal. Appear everywhere. Reveal almost nothing. Curate a signature. Convert every plot twist into a product bridge. Stack status loops. So celebrity validates fashion. Fashion validates desirability. Desirability validates cultural relevance. And relevance validates valuation. Practice controlled vulnerability. Enough to dignify, never enough to bleed. Protect the myth. Negotiate with time. Recruit a chorus. Distinguish noise from narrative. All of this is choreography, and choreography is survival. Now look at how she handles friction. Controversy arrives. She does not chase every spark. She chooses a single flame and uses it to light a candle of her own. Perhaps a launch that reframes the conversation. Perhaps a cause that elevates the tone. Control is not extinguishing fire. Control is redirecting heat. And watch how she travels across eras, early seasons, intimacy, middle years, dominance, current years, sovereignty. Each stage preserved what worked and amputated what didn't. Reinvention without disowning, evolution without apology. That is why copycats fall behind. They reboot from zero. She iterates from power. Many women ask, how do I keep a man, a market, a media swarm? Wrong question. The better question, how do I make them orbit? Orbital mechanics reward mass and gravity. Mass is your body of work. Gravity is your standards. She added mass with products, partnerships, philanthropy. She increased gravity with standards so consistent, the audience can feel them in silence. When standards become atmospheric, people change themselves in your presence without being asked. Notice the choreography of intimacy. There are times she invites the world into a kitchen, a fitting, a conversation. But even then, the angles are meticulous. You see warmth. You do not see weakness. You see closeness. You do not see control handed over. The camera moves, but the throne does not. The lesson is this: to master the attention economy, do not beg for a spotlight. Build a stage so compelling the spotlight cannot help but find you. Then make that stage pay rent. Kim Kardashian is not a mirror. She is a magnifying glass. She enlarges whatever you bring to her name: admiration, envy, desire, disdain. The wise do not argue with a magnifying glass. They decide what to place beneath it. That is the secret. Scandal becomes raw material, not a verdict. Appear everywhere. Reveal almost nothing. Sequence your year. Guard your myth. Convert curiosity into citizenship. Wrap steel in silk. And when they think they finally have you figured out, shift the frame by 1 degree, just enough to stay uncatchable, just enough to stay inevitable. This is how a face becomes a franchise. This is how a woman becomes an institution.